Welcome, everyone, to the A to Z podcast with your hosts, Amber Long
and Zachary Birdsong.
Today, we will be talking about why it is so difficult to talk about what you believe. So grab a cup of something deep and join us. Hi, everybody. I recommended that we talk about this because I have a really hard time these days expressing my opinion. Now, I was talking to a pal about it a little bit ago.
Good old pal.
And she was like, that seems like...
a you problem.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, she said that it sounds like that's a vulnerability thing. It's tied to being vulnerable.
You are vulnerable.
I'm not vulnerable. I always thought I was. I always thought because I was very emotive, that I would cry, that I would, if I was upset, like maybe I would,
and saying what you really think, because there would be some level of maybe additional passion.
Yes, yeah,
to it.
Yeah, that somehow meant that I was being vulnerable. But I don't know if that's the case. I think I have had a hard time talking, I can always tell, obviously, or the telltale sign, I guess that's what I should say, about when someone's starting to get close to something that makes me feel vulnerable, I've realized is that I'll take over the conversation. Like, I will hijack it, and I will fill in all the gaps, and I won't let them finish their sentence, and I will just talk about the thing in the way that I want to talk about it, and I won't allow them to say it because I don't want to hear it.
So you have this thinking that being vulnerable is negative?
No, I don't think it's negative. I think it's a really good thing. I'm just not being very brave.
Okay.
And so I'm uncomfortable with someone else, like having a transparent dialogue with somebody about something that I am sensitive about or protective over.
So for you, what is it about being vulnerable that is scary? Like, what part of it? Because I know you were saying that, the showing of emotions and stuff. But what do you think that's doing then?
I think what makes vulnerability difficult is the truth. I think sometimes when you can express things in a really big way or have a lot of passion or whatever, that is not necessarily an accurate reflection of what that means to you. It's just a performance. And it can be, or let me not say it always is, but for me, sometimes that can be, like, if I had a really big display of emotion in the past, it could be a reflection of me trying to act out how I think the other person will understand or receive what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
But it's not an accurate reflection of how I really feel about it because I may be being, and also I may not actually be talking about the thing that's affecting me or that I'm really protective over, because if I start getting close to that thing, it becomes harder to talk. It becomes harder to say, like, case in point, I love you, not a fan. Not very good at expressing that.
And you said there's truth there.
Yes.
But so what about it being the truth that someone else is hearing makes that uncomfortable?
Now you know.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Very succinct.
Yeah, it's like, I wish I could, because now you know what means something to me and how it really means. what it really means to me.
Maybe do you think that then allows, then the other person's actions suddenly become a lot more real?
Yes.
Because if they know
everything becomes more real.
Yeah. Because if they know the truth about how you feel about things, and then they still do or take certain actions, then it's like, oh well, you knew this and you still did this to me. Like if it was a negative thing, or okay,
or now you can do with that what you will. You know, you can use it. You can use it to be harmful.
So if you were to describe it in terms of like it being some type of fear, it would be a fear of, what do you think?
Being perceived most accurately. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That lines up, because when I was thinking about it in a broad sense, I was like, I feel like the only thing that, or the only reason, the base reason why people can't talk about things that are hard for them to talk about is based out of some kind of fear.
Yeah.
It's fear of something, because like that can lead to, you know, feeling sad or angry too, but all that is going to be rooted in that fear of you know, what's going to come out of that, right? And a lot of times, because even still to what you're saying, it's sort of like, I guess you would say ostracization is like the furtherance, like the farthest you can go with
the
that,
worst
right?
case scenario.
Yeah, but there's micro transactions that can occur that are under that umbrella that don't reach the fullness of that, but that are still encompassed within it, like somebody not returning, you know, those similar feelings, right?
Or somebody now being more cautious around you, because of something, or somebody not including you in something because they're like, oh well, you know, Beverly, she does have this little problem.
She's got a lisp.
What? No! Oh my God, Bev. No, girl. No, that's okay. What is wrong with you?
I just be saying things.
Clearly, yeah.
Is
Didn't
Beth...
you have a lisp?
No.
Oh.
You brought this up before. This is like the second time you've been like, didn't you have a lisp? No. How about you go back and listen to episode 2? Jeez. No, I went to speech therapy for my R's.
Oh, my bad.
Gosh.
Hey, I'm not one to talk. Nobody can ever hear me, so it's fine. We've all got speech issues.
Yeah.
I mumble.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. You're right. But what, are you feeling vulnerable?
No, not at all.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Why did you make that face?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah. What about you? Do you have a hard time expressing what you really think or feel about things?
Yes.
Great.
You want an example?
Well, why do you think that is? And you can give an example. Or you know what?
The fear of
Tell me what.
What?
Like you said you know what? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think a lot of it for me is the fear of being disliked.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because everyone's been through this. Well, no, maybe not you. The other person, someone else, is chatting it up with you. You have never heard so many words strung together in such a short amount of time that felt like an infinity than when talking with this kind of person. Because everything they're saying, you don't care about. You could not give one iota of...
Are you thinking of someone very specific?
And I'm thinking of a few people,
okay.
All right? Of any level of care of what it is they're speaking unto you. And you think to yourself, this has no bearing or change in my life whatsoever, okay? And it's been 20 minutes but it feels like hours. Okay, and so you're looking for a way out. You've done everything you can. You're doing other tasks. You're not looking at them in the eyes. You're doing anything you can think of, everything and anything.
You've drank your coffee.
You keep
just taking sips.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. See?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You know. Everyone knows this. Everyone can think of at least a couple of people. And look, there's nothing wrong with these people. They just don't know you don't care. Okay? But you do all you can, and sometimes it gets to the point where you just want to say, "Shut up." Or I'm sorry, but I'm done. Or I have to
now.
Yes, or I have, because usually the response might be is like, oh, I got to do this, or even sometimes I've been like, oh, I got to take a piss, or here. Sometimes I've been like, I gotta go pee.
There, okay.
Or use the bathroom.
Leave it in. I don't care.
Oh, I'll leave it in. But the problem is that you don't want to just come out and say, which would be the truth, is just that I don't care.
I don't want to listen to you.
This is not a productive piece of my time right now.
Yeah.
That's an example.
She'll be like, if she doesn't want to talk to you anymore, she'll be like, I'm done talking to you now.
Oh my God, I love your mom.
Maybe she only does that with her children.
That's amazing. But here's the thing. I don't think we have to.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
We don't have to be out here pretending that like every conversation we could have with every person is going to be a light upon our life. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. Two, it's the truth. It's the truth. That's an example that I have. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm not sure if that's necessarily an unpopular opinion, but someone has to gosh dang say it.
Sometimes you just don't want to talk to somebody.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to talk to or listen, because sometimes you're not talking.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there.
I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think I used to in situations where if somebody was saying something that I really didn't want to hear, I would get really squirmy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would get really hot or fidgety.
Right.
Because I didn't know how to get.
You just feel awkward, and you want to get out of it, and
it wasn't even always awkward. Like I would feel like it would give not like anxiety attack, but like where you're like, I want to take my skin off. You never felt that way?
What the hell? No.
Oh yeah. Well, I've had that feeling where you're like, oh my God, please somebody just unzip me.
Interesting.
I want to get out of my body and
you
go
said,
somewhere else.
And you don't relate that feeling to feeling uncomfortable.
No, it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it that I said that you were like, and sometimes it's not even, did I say anxious? No, I think I said uncomfortable.
No.
And you were like, sometimes it's not even uncomfortable. And then you said, but I want to rid myself of my skin. And I'm like, that sounds pretty uncomfortable. Maybe that's just me then.
That's a very normal feeling
to
have.
Shed it off.
For me.
Okay.
Maybe
it's because you have a reptile pet.
She's an amphibian.
Oh, dear Lord.
Is the difference.
Okay. She sheds her skin.
Speciesism, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
She sheds her skin.
I don't think she does.
Oh, my God. I'm cutting all this out.
I really don't. No, leave it in.
No.
Leave all of it in.
Okay. Another example I can think of is when someone is being unafraid of giving their own opinion, and you're like, what is that opinion?
Yeah.
And you want to say something, but like you're around and everyone's just kind of shaking their head, right? Because everyone feels awkward and no one wants to be like, oh, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's just which is interesting, because that's kind of the opposite of, well, maybe it's not the opposite of the fear of being ostracized, because if everyone else too also thinks it's a weird or bad opinion, you're all sharing in a moment of knowing that everyone else there is just kind of nodding their head, but you're all thinking, what the heck is this guy talking about?
Which is really interesting because I think in those moments, I'm very willing to tell someone like that was not okay.
Good for you. That's good.
I don't know why, but if it's because I think I see it as an extension of standing up for people.
Right.
So like if somebody says something really problematic, I'm like, no, but like, or I'll like dig into it, and I'll probably start making them feel really uncomfortable.
Right. Maybe ask questions as a way of prodding, coming off as like, it being more relaxed, but you're really just like, hey, like you said, let's dig into this a little bit.
Yeah,
see how far you go with it.
That's really what you think about that right now? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. But yeah, that's less of an uncomfortable situation for me. Well, did you have other examples?
I just kind of, I had broken them up into some categories that I thought of, where it's like the main one, the farthest one that I was saying was like the fear of ostracization. And then there's the fear of being perceived as unusual. The fear of rejection, which is kind of what you were talking about for yourself, because it can be used in a way. Yeah. And then the fear of not coming off as well informed or articulated enough.
Yeah.
The fear of being perceived as like not
like dumb.
Intellectual. Yeah.
I think the one you said about fear of not being perceived, or fear of being perceived as unusual, I think that can be a big part of why I can find it difficult sometimes too to share what I really think, because I've realized that I have weird opinions or like weird viewpoints on things, that I tend not to be that bothered by things that bother other people, get really bothered by things that nobody else cares about. And so it's just, I think it's an extension of the fear of rejection, of not wanting to be at odds with other people.
And maybe that's why you're okay when someone makes a statement about something that you just don't agree with and you feel like you got to stand up for them, is because at that point in time, you have made the distinction like, oh, they've made a claim, I am rejecting them, by me now saying something. I mean, like, or their thought, right? You're not, basically what I'm getting at is you're not in the position of being rejected anymore. They can still reject you, but you're kind of doing it first to them.
Hypocritical of me.
Yeah. No, that's not, that was not the intent of pointing that out.
No,
I don't think it's hypocritical.
But it is kind of like, I'm comfortable doing that with others. But you know what,
there's a justice element in that.
Yes, there's a justice element in it. And if I'm
you're not just being rude.
If I'm being messed up, I want people to tell me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's why I'm like, I think I take a lot, when it comes to the matters of justice, I take a while to form an opinion. Because I'm always trying to listen and learn and try to understand. So I'm not as, and I will typically like talk about like, well, this is what I've seen, or this is what I've read, or this is what I've heard from people. I don't though tell what I may actually feel about that issue.
Oh, you just say like what
I'll just report
the common
out what I know.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm not as good about being upfront, which is kind of, it's just questionable, I guess. If I don't agree, or I may not have an opinion, and so I just state the common opinion. But yeah, I think what types of, you don't have to go into specifics, but what types of topics do you feel uncomfortable expressing your real opinion about?
Some politics stuff, just depending on who that group of people is, just because it's all so charged, these days. And I think in a similar vein, certain like moral claims or something I would make. Yeah. I think those just two categories are just really, everyone's really involved in the thought of those right now. And everyone really thinks that for some reason, kind of to your point, they think that they have what they need to make a kind of final answer instead of being kind of more open to, hearing other things out and letting that answer maybe kind of evolve over time. But those are the two things that come to my mind. Is it similar for you?
No, I feel politically like that isn't as difficult for me to talk about. And I'm very, very comfortable talking about my like religious beliefs or talking about religious beliefs. It doesn't really affect me that much. I actually have found that I have a growing discomfort in talking about culture.
Oh, what like, kind of piece of it?
Race specifically.
I see.
Because I'm often like one of one in spaces, like just the only black person or the only black female. And I've been like that my whole life. Also, there's a lot of layers to it. There's the layer of understanding that you inherit from school, whether that's just like, K through 12, or when you go into college, you're going to learn a whole other set of stuff, kind of. And if you really take that on as like a focus of what you want to learn, there's a lot to it. And then there's what the people in your community are actually saying and what they think. And then there's your subjective experience. And all of that can sometimes be in conflict with each other. And by conflict, I mean, it's not neat and tidy. It's hard to sum up all of these things and say, this is real, this is not real, this is perceived, this is, a detriment, this is a positive. It's very nuanced. And I become more aware of the nuance. I think before I had, no pun intended, a very black and white view of things. And I've become more sensitive to a lot of complicated ideas. Like, just to give an example, a lot of times people will always say things like, oh, black and brown communities. And there's a reason for that, because a lot of people from black and brown communities, and brown can mean South Asian, brown can mean, Latin or Hispanic. Brown can mean a couple different things. And black, even in blackness, there's so many, and people don't, because they just lump everybody together. But when you're black, there's lots of different people under that umbrella. And some of the people who are considered brown may be under the black umbrella. Some of the people who are considered black are under the brown umbrella. And so it's not that neat and tidy. And then also like how you may say, well, these people experience this. Well, not all people who are black or brown have experienced that.
Yeah, right.
Not all people who are black or brown believe that this course of action is the right remedy, but we lump everybody together. And there's a lot more nuanced perspectives under that umbrella than that really people talk about. And I feel like this last election in particular was really, really highlighted the diversity of thought within, I'll just say, my own community, but that we've observed in other communities as well. And it makes me less comfortable to just talk about it, because I've been presented with information that's contrary to what I thought I knew. And so
because of this additional diversification of thought.
Yeah, because people are really, we will say, oh, people aren't free thinking. They're free thinking. You just don't like it.
Right.
You just don't like their thoughts.
Or you're not hearing them because many aren't saying it.
Or you're just trying to say, oh, well, they're just thinking this because of this.
Right,
well,
you wave them off.
Yeah, and you almost invalidate their thought, because we're like, you just heard that on the internet. Well, no, I mean, that could be true, but that doesn't mean they don't really agree. It doesn't mean they haven't really contended with that thought and found that was a reflection of how they felt about what they were experiencing or what they were observing. And so I'm less comfortable talking about it because I don't know. I don't feel like I know as well as I used to feel. So now I'm just like, listen more.
Right, because there's just more information to gather from before making a more distinct, decision for yourself on what you think.
And that's completely separated from how I feel about what upsets me or what I'm happy about or whatever. Because I feel like, if I reflect on my own experience, my opinion is probably not that, I don't know if I would say it's not favorable, but my main opinion is like anything that hurts people, I'm not in support of. Anything that encourages people to be divided and not see humanity or take a chance on each other,
right,
I'm not for it. I don't care who it's coming from. And that is an unpopular opinion. I just don't like hateful things. And anything that feels like hate, that looks hateful, I don't care who it's coming from. I don't want to be a part of it.
Right. And that's important with the value base of it.
Yeah.
Not caring where it's coming from, knowing that's just a thing you are against.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's just to give an example of like, that can be hard to articulate of being like, look, y'all, if that's what you're on, love and respect to you. I'm not going to be a part of it though. But no harm, no, do your thing.
Right.
So
what do you think is, because it sounds like that it really all does come down to some level of fear, which is of the mind, in terms of why, people don't want to express, or why it's difficult for them to express certain things. So the solution then is also to be taken of the mind, right? And so I think I would say to that is seeing the value in the diversification of thought.
Yeah.
And how that leads to deeper thinking, which results in more prosperous and nuanced solutions, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would say so, but in that I can see that so much of the reaction that people have to nuance and diversity is the loss of the black and white thinking, which makes the world feel more complicated to some people.
Yes, yeah. And it's because, to give them some level of credit, it is.
Yeah.
Once you start doing that.
Yeah. And for particularly like, malignant, malicious characters, there's a loss of control that can come from that. When people start really grappling with ideas and recognizing that things are, more tangled or more colorful than they previously thought. And that it's, but also like the fear, I think, of exploring and hearing people express ideas that you didn't agree with, or not even you don't agree with, but like that you didn't even know that's how they felt.
Right.
Is like a loss of a sense of knowing. Like it like tampers with your trust a little bit in what you the people around you, and that can be scary for people. That's another
right.
And I think the best way to navigate that is partially to have trust established already with people and love established with people already, so that if you can come to them with a controversial or kind of scary thought, that that they love you anyway. And so that's a lot about building rapport, I think, with people.
Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe, I don't know if this might be going in not the opposite direction, but I don't know if you were thinking of it in terms like this, but that almost kind of makes me think that we need to, I guess this goes hand in hand. We need to lower the barrier for trust by proving that we can do that by not, lashing out upon hearing certain things, by not immediately, brushing someone off to the side or something like that. Once we start doing that, then that will by proxy lower the entry for trust, because people won't be as fearful about that interaction occurring, right?
Yeah. That reminds me, I didn't want to talk about it. It's not a bad thing. It's just like a long explanation.
You don't have to.
But the Brene Brown, which I'm now on that train, but I was reading or listening to Atlas of the Heart, and she was talking about disgust. I was telling you about this the other day, and how disgust is a the feeling that our body conjures when we don't want to be contaminated by something. So it's the feeling that you feel when you see somebody else throw up, that tells you to get away from it so that you don't get sick too. And she was talking about how much that can bleed into like ideologies as well. And I've told a few people about it now, because I just think that's so fascinating, of like the fear of thoughts being contaminating, and how much like there's something to be said about being intellectually curious enough.
Yes.
And not feeling threatened by just the ideas that I think is so interesting, because it is hard to do. Like, I never want to take that away from anybody. It's really difficult to open your mind up to things that are very challenging.
It is. And I think that goes hand in hand too, because the people who aren't as open to considering things and allowing for intellectual honesty, it makes sense for them to be more fearful about what ideas can lead to, because they may not be as capable to combat it on that idea level, right? Yeah. So it seems like something that's much more threatening than what it really could be, if they felt like they could, through a deep level of critical thought, be able to combat that
or navigate it.
Yes, right.
Yeah. No, I get that. I feel that way sometimes. Like, I tend to shy away from listening to things. Like, that's a big part of why I'm not on social media, because my brain is so, like, I'm so open-minded that that sounds like a flex. It's not. It's really not.
Everything's got its positives and negatives.
Yeah, everything's got its positives and its negatives. But I try to be so open-minded, even when something is challenging, but I really want to understand. I guess what's better is to say I'm very curious. I'm very curious about other people and why they think the way they think and what they're experiencing. Like, if I could experience how you literally, like, touch things, like what it feels like in your fingers to touch something, I would want to know that. That's like the level of understanding I like to have about people, and it's very invasive.
It's intriguing. I've never heard anyone say that. I'll say that. But it is interesting.
But I deeply want to know, and sometimes by being on the internet, like, I can get so flooded with how other people are seeing the world. I definitely get lost in what it is I feel, what I think, and I start taking on ideas that I'm like, whoa, that was like, that's kind of out there. But I don't even always admittedly have the wherewithal to recognize that that's not a thought that I even want to hold, or it's a thought that's conducive to like healthy relationships around me.
Or like what level of credence there actually is behind it. Yeah,
that's something I have to tell myself, like, more recently, and that's how I've been able to navigate a lot more thoughts and not take everything so personally, is to tell myself, this is an opinion. This is not, they are not the authority on this.
Right.
There is no authority on most things that are an opinion. And the only way to establish authority is through consensus that's documented, that's backed up by evidence.
Right.
That is the only way, non-religiously, I'll say, where there's some divine authority, where, what God says or what the gods may say, whatever. is what is true. In terms of human to human understanding of things, that is the only way to know. Basically, science is the only way to know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
If it's not a scientific thought that's been peer-reviewed and tested by multiple people and the results have been replicated, it is not a fact. You can't state it that way.
Right.
And that has been really helpful for me to separate and to not have the fear of contamination and and actually pursue things with curiosity and confidence and comfort. I'm not as fearful.
Right. And it's what we're doing here.
I'm going to state my unpopular opinion that I've come to the conclusion that this is my opinion. It doesn't mean I live by it, though. It doesn't matter.
Being anything.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It matters because your brain has attributed meaning to it. You've made meaning. It is not inherently meaningful. It doesn't matter. And
outside of a religious perspective, I would assume. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
It would have, yes. Yes.
Okay.
I would say that. No, hold on, let me navigate this. Because I've thought about this before.
Okay.
I've thought about this before of like, honestly, that's what my thought was. If not for God, nothing matters.
Yeah, right.
That is my opinion. I do think that being a spiritual person provides meaning because everything has a purpose and everything was designed according to its purpose for the glory of God. But if that doesn't exist, then nothing matters. It's all just stuff happening and it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
And you as a human being have evolved to make meaning for probably life perpetuating purposes. Because if you think it matters,
yes.
If you think you matter, you're going to fight a little bit harder.
Right.
You're going to try a little bit harder. You're going to eat better. You're going to sleep more. You're going to do all of these positive things because of meaning. You know, it's not enough for it to just be like, oh, the outcome was positive. Humans don't really work like that. They have to like have some extra zing, yeah, on what they do. So that is my unpopular opinion. Do I feel that way all the time? No, because I worry like crazy. Because I think it all matters and everything matters. But intellectually, I believe that it actually doesn't. And I have a lot of cognitive dissonance because of that.
Right.
Because I'm like, but what if it does? Even though I feel that it doesn't, except for religiously, of course.
You know, that does remind me, in a similar vein, I think that everything is probably predetermined. So, but I've talked to a friend about that before, and they were like, well, that just sounds like a cop-out for, like, your actions and stuff, because then you don't have to, like, feel bad or, you know, because you can just kind of tell yourself, well, oh, this is just what I was going to do because of, you know, how it all started. The dominoes just fell where they may. But I
don't see that way.
Well, it goes back to how you're saying it. I think that there's a good chance that everything is predetermined, but I don't live my day-to-day as if it was, because I still care. So it comes down to like that same level. There's like your grand scheme of how you think things work, but then on your day-to-day, you're still human.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. That is like something I have thought about in terms of one of the things in relation to this, I guess, that I'm trying to overcome, like a thought, a like framework that I'm trying to let go of or live outside of, is the idea, well, maybe not live outside of, but reframe, is the idea that everything has a purpose, that destiny exists.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that you because I'm a religious person, that you were created, there's a path, it's drawn out for you. There are things you can step on and off that path. There's other paths you can take. But that every person has a destiny. And, which I guess implies a destination. Yeah?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I'm trying to reconcile with is like literally what you just said. You may have a destiny, but if you spend your time basically like reading the book of your life and you're so preoccupied with reading the book instead of going out and living your life, the book will be blank. As you're living, the pages are being filled in, and it's really that they're being unearthed as you're living. You know what I mean? It's like the ink is becoming visible as you're living your life. But you can be tempted to sit there and stare at the book and be like, "What doesn't it fucking say anything?"
Right.
And so like that is I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with that's why I'm saying I don't see it as like the dominoes and all the chips fell as they may. I mean, yes, but it's not like, I don't know where let the chips fall as they may. I don't really know where that comes from. Is that like a gambling term?
Yes, I think so.
Because like the thing is that you're not the gambler, you're the chip.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, and whoever is in charge of this whole thing, they're the gambler.
Right.
So it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah.
So you share that.
I do.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's that unpopular of an opinion.
Maybe not.
I agree with you.
Maybe not. Well, I think that a lot of people kind of have a fear of the idea of it being much like because of what that friend was stating, is that kind of for some people it can perhaps absolve them, you know, and it takes away the idea of free will too, right?
Like horoscopes, like when people say like, "Oh, your horoscope said," or like, "I'm like this because I'm a Leo."
Yes.
I'm a Leo, so that's what I'm saying.
But it's not like I'm waking up every morning thinking like, all right, what's my body going to do next? You know?
What does my internal drive tell me?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you want to know a weird thing? This might be an unpopular opinion. Okay. I've started to think recently, because, you know, people always be like religiously, they'll be like, your flesh craves. So you think about it as like your body, right? Like your body wants to eat more. Your body wants to fornicate, you know? And
both at the same time, sometimes.
Eat and fornicate at the same time. Very Greek of you. Not modern Greek, but ancient Greek. Shout out to the Greeks.
Woo.
But my opinion these days, which you can think about it, is because your brain is flesh. I'm like, most of this stuff's just your brain.
Oh, yeah.
You give your body, we give every part of our body that's not our brain such a hard time. And you know why? Because the brain is a butthole.
Yeah, and
the brain is sitting there like, it's everyone else, it's not me. Yes, no, it's you.
One, you can't see it. If it was plastered on the front of everyone's foreheads instead of inside the skull, then I think maybe we would be like, look at you, would point at it. We'd be like, look at you.
Sometimes
you stupid little thing.
Sometimes I imagine like what it would feel like for your actual brain to be visible, like beside you.
Yes.
So that, but you could still look with your eyes.
You have to carry it in a bag around with you.
So that your actual eyes could see your brain. So your brain could see itself for the first time.
Yeah.
What it must feel. Like, what must it think of itself? Isn't that, that's a little strange.
It kind of goes back to the unzipping your skin thing.
I promise I'm not weird. I'm not weird. This is why I don't like talking about what I think.
No, but it's a good point. I agree with you. I think if we could see our brains with our eyes, that we would have some odd thoughts. I agree with that. Plastered on our forehead or in a bag, and we just open it up and look at it, we'd be like, you're the problem. We wouldn't blame our stomachs
but
for
it's
wanting
not
to.
you. It's me. Do you get like? You would look at your brain and you'd be like, "You're the problem."
Yeah, but it's
The thing that's assigning the problem is you. So you're like, it's me, the brain, not me the body. It's me the brain.
Me the brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me the brain. You're right. You're right.
A musical.
Yeah.
It's me the brain. So that's a
That
weird,
might be an unpopular opinion.
that is an unpopular opinion.
I believe it.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Fear being weird. Yeah.
You weren't.
Okay.
I promise.
Well, we'll see. Won't we?
First comment. You're so weird.
Weirdo.
You want to see your brain?
Yeah.
You want to
I
feel
don't.
something through someone else's hands?
Oh, that's so weird. So weird.
No, because it's almost like, because you don't know if other people are seeing the same color
Right.
that you're seeing. So
Right.
it's very similar to that, because I've thought about that before, where I'm like, I wish I could see through someone else's eyes to see if like they're seeing different colors that I see, that they call the same word, because that's what we've been taught, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm there with you.
Yeah. But I think if you had to give a tip for people to be more courageous in their expression of what they were thinking or feeling or whatever.
I was listening to, I think it was chapter 8 of the Atomic Habits book.
Shout out to our coworker Karen.
Yes, for recommending that book. It's great. I've been really enjoying it so far. But he was talking about how when it comes to habits and repeated behaviors, that it's much easier to do so the more people you have around you that are doing those same things or have those same thoughts, right? And he was talking about this one experiment where they got people in a room and asked questions about the lengths of lines, and were told to pick the 2 lines that were the same length out of the multiple options that you had. And they noticed that the more people you had in the room that they had inserted to say that, to give a wrong answer, the more likely the one individual who was actually part of the study, and to see what they would answer, the more likely they were to knowingly provide the wrong answer. So if it was just like 2 people in the room, one was a part of the experiment and the other one was placed there to give the wrong answer, it wouldn't really change much, because the other person might just be thinking, oh, they're just dumb or something, right? And even with 2 people, it didn't really change. But once you start getting to 3 and 4, and then I think they went all the way up to 8, that significantly started impacting people's ability to speak out, you know, and say what it was they really thought, and the truth as clear as it was, because they were like, they had second guessed themselves, because they were like, oh, I must be seeing something wrong. They would like recheck like all the lines and stuff and be like, you know, maybe I'm not seeing this correctly or something like that. Or they just didn't want to be the only one out. And so even if they knew they were right, they would still just say the wrong answer to be a part of the group. It is. And so my point with that was to say that I think that what people can do is recognize that, outside of that fear, you need to value what your experience is and the truth of that, right? And that's really what it comes down to, is just really being able to pull yourself, reminding yourself that you are an individual, and that your experience is not reliant on, it's a part of, but it's not reliant on the experience of everyone else around you.
Yeah. I think that mine is probably a little bit similar to yours, is to find people you feel like you can trust to be honest with, even if they disagree with you, that you know that they're not going to devalue you
right
by when you say what you have to say, and that maybe they're going to explore it with you. I feel like I had that happen in the last election, where I had people who were close to me and they were expressing different opinions, and some people met that person, you know, I had one person who was expressing a lot of opinions that were different, and a lot of people met that person with a lot of criticism, and that person felt very discouraged to share their beliefs. And I was like, no, you have to keep sharing your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep talking about it, because how else are we going to know? Because, I mean, you sharing your opinion is more than likely you're not the only one.
Yeah, right.
You're not the only person who feels that way. So keep talking about it. And, like, this is just a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You just go back and forth. You grapple a little bit, you know. But it's not going to change how I see you, even though sometimes there were some times when they were using some harsh language and I was like, ugh.
And I think, and that's another thing too, is recognizing that some people are using harsh language at the same level that you would be using unharsh language.
Right. And so part of that was, like, we did have some kind of like, oh my gosh. Because then I said some things back where I was like, you're kind of coming off like this. And they were like, oh my God, no, like, I would never be like that. I'm just saying this. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Using harsher language to get a point across.
Yeah.
Almost kind of coming off hyperbolic.
But then we got to the bottom of like, well, when you're saying this is what you really mean. And now I know that when you're speaking like this, not to take it at face value.
Yes.
I know that if I need to know a little bit more, I need to ask a little bit more. But also you need to know. Don't go out in the world talking like this and thinking that people are going to understand what you mean. Because it sounds worse than you mean it to be. So now you're aware.
Yes.
And so like...
that's why it's so important.
Yeah. And now we've learned from each other how to communicate, how to better understand other people when they're communicating. And now we're a safe place to express between each other. And that's so rewarding.
It is important because at the end of the day, you know, this episode, even if everyone on earth were to listen to it, wouldn't change, you know. I mean, like, people might be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll start trying this out. But there are going to be many who don't. And so it's important to have your, like, you know, a kind of inner circle that you feel comfortable speaking out with.
And people who are going to lovingly tell you what's what if you're going off the rails.
Right.
Yeah. Or, you know, applaud you.
Yeah, maybe they're like, man, I've been waiting for you to say that.
I'm glad my sister's always like, you were thinking it, but you said it from White Chicks. And I'm always like, no, you were thinking it and you said it. I wasn't thinking that. You were thinking it and you said it.
You did both for us.
You did both, and it's for you. Not me, but...
Thanks, everybody, for listening to another episode. We hope you enjoyed it, as always. Comment, share, subscribe, like, all the things. We'll be seeing you again sometime soon. Or actually, you'll be hearing us again soon. Farewell.
Leave all that in.
No,
yeah,
farewell.
Leave all of it in.